Buck. Check. I'm a son of a slave. Please don't give me free, but I can stomach the brave. When describing the country, all we dug up was graves. Dig me, the numbers of the slain. Right up since we wasn't chains. Break free.
Welcome to Sean and Sean Talk About Shit. This is episode 5. What's up, Sean?
Episode 5. What up, Sean? What it
How
do,
you
man?
feeling? Man, I'm on vacation right now, man. I'm taking a birthday down in Charlotte, one of our favorite cities, the Queen City. I'm having a ball.
Shout out to Charlotte.
Yeah.
Shout out to Charlotte, Queen City, dirt track and all of that.
Yeah, dirt track. Dirt track. That's an inside joke for like 5 of us, and y'all will never know, but you can laugh when you hear it like you understand it, because we're never going to tell you. Dirt tracks. So what's going on this week, bro? We know we want to talk about your boy Joe Rogan.
This guy. Let's talk about Joe Rogan just for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Give him a little bit of shine on our show.
And we talk about the same guy that used to host Fear Factor, by the way. Yes. I never liked Joe. Rogan. Joe Rogan always came across as an a-hole to me. Even before even when he was hosting Fear Factor, he seemed to look down on these people that he was dangling this little bit of money in front of to eat worms. Like, you know, like
and fall from the sky in the car.
Yeah, you coaxing them to do this, and then you looking down on them like, ew, like you better than them. Sir, you're not better than them. You're not better than any of us.
Well, I mean, what was like the criteria to become the host of Fear Factor? Like, you got to be able to watch people eat stuff that's gross and not say yuck.
Yeah, obviously, he probably had a connection as well. This is a guy that you don't know what the hell he is. You know what I'm saying? What is he? Yeah. What is he? Like, what is he professionally? I've heard people say he's a stand-up comedian because he's done some stand-up. I've heard people say he's a host. He was calling the UFC fights for you. So obviously this guy knows how to build connections with the people that have money. And God bless him for that, because that is a skill that we all need. And that we all wish we could have that, but we don't get access to that like he does. You know, we're just as good. We can talk just as good as Joe Rogan, both of us.
Indeed.
But we don't have the connections that he has to get the $100 million to be a podcaster.
And you got to ask yourself though, like, okay, so Joe Rogan got that $100 million to be a podcaster, like, but you know, the only thing he brought to the table was the fact that he had a built-in audience, right? It's like no new people are joining in. These are the same fans that he bought from Fear Factor, right? They didn't like Ludacris hosting Fear Factor now, and they're like, I'm stick with this guy when he go to, you know, Spotify.
Yeah. Well, he's been a guy that's built his fan base through the years. Like, there are some people that have stuck with him through Fear Factor, but then there's some people that like the way he called the UFC fights. You know, Dana White pretty much had him be the voice of UFC for a lot of years, you know, and that came out of nowhere, you know, that he was, when he was started calling those fights, you know, and then he took some of his audience from there.
He got quintessential excited white man voice. So when he get excited, like during a fight or something, it sounds like all of my white male friends when they get excited during UFC fights. You did. So I think that's kind of the thing that brought him in. It just kind of feel familiar to people, I think.
I understand that. Yep, I feel you. But then, you know, Joe Rogan became this big time podcaster. He got $100 million to host his show daily. And he is one of these guys that he found his base in the Trumpsters. And he has been a guy that has put out bad information about medical stuff when it comes to COVID. He has pushed ivermectin. I hope I'm saying that right. And I
don't even know how to pronounce it. So yeah, you got it.
He has not dispelled any of the rumors that have come out. The craziest things that people have ever said about curing COVID, he has been all in with. I don't think I've heard him say inject bleach. I don't think he believed that one, but I have heard him support and back up some of the most crazy things. And, you know, he caught COVID and he took one of the medications that we weren't supposed to be taking. The doctors urged us all not to deal with if we have COVID. And then he went on and told his listeners that he took it and it worked. And he said it worked. And then I think, correct me if I'm wrong, got to double check. I think he came back later on and said that he actually didn't take it, but it was weeks later. Look at the damage you already did.
Facts. That's the key right there. And I think that's the thing that people don't understand about the voting base that you were just speaking of, is that they looking for people to believe in, right? They're looking for something to believe in, something that's going to say, hey, you do matter in this country. Now, for those of us who have been marginalized by the country, we see it as like, well, look, y'all been getting the good, sweet spot part. So it's time for somebody else to enjoy some things. But I just think that's weird that you would go through the lengths of putting up bad information for people who are looking to survive, number one, but then are looking for people who would guide them properly. That's weird. Absolutely,
yeah, for sure. And let's get into the N-word. He's basically been. I know that's a wide field there, but let's get into the N-word when specifically with Joe Rogan. He's been a guy that hasn't been shy with using that word, throwing it out there. It's a word that I personally, as a black man, I'm completely uncomfortable with it. I am uncomfortable with it, whether a black person or a white person says it. But I don't say anything because we have freedom of speech. Just because I'm uncomfortable with something, if it's not hurting me, I can live with it, but I'm not going to stop anybody else from saying it. My only hope is to educate people who don't understand what it is, and you just throwing it out there. And then after you're educated, it's up to you if you want to keep using it or not, not saying it doesn't infuriate me coming from a certain race.
Big fact.
I'm not saying that at all.
What's that,
I still get
right there.
Yeah, I still
warning.
Get mad.
Don't say that.
Yeah, if you come from the kind of people that was based on Foghorn Leghorn, don't say the N-word around me. You know what I'm saying? I say.
I almost fell out my chair, cuz.
Don't say it around me, son. That's all I'm saying.
In real life. See, this is my thing though, Sean. Like I'm kind of caught, man, in with the N-word, right? For two reasons. I do understand the historical aspect of it. Once we get into like 1991 though, right? Hip hop, or let's just say 89, right? Like 91, right? Hip hop has really had a really strong hold on American society, right? So there's a lot of white kids who grew up kind of idolizing black people and wanting to be able to do the things that black people do. And one of those things is say the N-word, right?
Okay.
So I feel like, a lot of white friends a lot of people who not black that I know now as adults, tell me, hey, yeah, when I'm just with my friends who look like me, we say it. That's kind of their thing.
Right.
So I guess the question would be for me, is he saying it like, look at these niggas over here doing this, or is it like he talking to his white buddy? He's like, what's up, my nigga? Like,
yeah.
Like what's the context?
It wasn't that context. I think he was just he was talking in general. He was just using the word on the show when describing situations and stories, and some of the people that he knew. And I think that he's just comfortable using that word. And somebody must have, you often hear from white people, well, I got a pass. You hear that. And, and it's all good. But every just because you got a pass from one black person, that pass is just like a hall pass in school. If I got a hall pass to go to the bathroom, that's for my school. I can't take that hall pass into the junior college after I graduate high school and say, well, this is valid for me to use the bathroom whenever I want. It just don't hold up.
I could say this. If you get a hall pass from whoever in the city of Chicago, I don't care what neighborhood it is, You got your little hall pass. Don't leave out your neighborhood with that hall pass and think it's effective. It's not effective in my neighborhood, sir. I don't want it. Don't come over here with that. We ain't on that. You did.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. So this is the thing. This word is not going to go away. It's not ever going to be a thing where people, everybody's going to feel like they're all on one accord with it. The people that are comfortable with using it, on our side and on in every other race that feels like they can use it. They're going to feel like that they can just use it just because, freedom of speech. They're going to feel like they got a pass, and I feel like that's what Joe Rogan is on. But what really kind of rocked my boat with this is that the company, he's with Pandora, right? Spotify. I'm sorry. Spotify. The president came out and said that they condemned his what he was saying. They condemned him using the word, but they weren't going to silence him. I understand that. I get it. It's freedom of speech, but you letting the dog continuously jump on the dinner table, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. So I guess the thing is going to be this though, Sean, like, see, it's this framing. Like I told people in like the early 90s, when people started talking about political correctness, I started telling people that eventually it's going to go awry because it's going to shoot itself in the face. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Political correctness is going to punch itself in the mouth and then ask itself, why did I punch me like that?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Look at the situation you in. Now, from an English standpoint, if Joe Rogan is explaining ignorant people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of what the people look like, if he's explaining ignorant people and he's talking about his friend that happens to be ignorant and he's calling him nigga, right? He legitimately is kind of using it in the English context that it was derived to use in, right?
Right.
If he's using it in a derogatory fashion, he said, oh, this, and he's talking about people, then, you get into that fuzzy space where you have to censor him. As the president of Spotify, you have to ask yourself, okay, well, how is he using it, right? And if you can't prove that he's using it derogatorily, you have to let him stay there. You can't censor him because you already know that anything you do is going to be an extra lawsuit. Shout out to political correctness, America. This is what y'all gave us. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. And like, I feel like, there have been people that have lost everything for less. You know what I'm saying? Yep. As we talked about before when this show started, I'm not a big fan of Donald Sterling, the former owner of the LA Clippers, but he lost his entire team based on a conversation he had in his home off the clock.
Yes. Now, even though his wife wasn't privy to it, he was texting his mistress in the privacy of his own home with his own phone.
Yes. Yes. And it makes me want to dig deeper on that because honestly, I feel like that people just didn't like Donald Sterling in the circle. And it was like the first time this fool F up, he out of here. It's curtains. It's curtains. And they got him up out of there with a text message to his mistress that was probably a plant.
Yes. Don't be in my games with those people.
and she said, and she set him up. But
didn't it go something like that? Like, don't come to the game with those people. Like, which people? Basketball fans?
Yeah.
You talk about?
Yeah. And then he threw the N-word in there at some point. He did. Yeah, but
this what I mean. But that was kind of one of those things, right? Like America had trouble with stomaching that pain, right? And then it was like, yo, we got to get him out. But then political correctness always does this thing. It kind of grades on the curve. Remember, we talked before, Sean, about the gray area. I told you I don't believe in the gray area. I'm black and white kind of guy.
Yes.
It is or is it not?
Yes.
The gray area, I told you, them people who be like one thing led to another. Them same people believe that you could have political correctness for everybody. You can't. Somebody gonna get offended somewhere, but then how do you come back and say, I'm gonna make sure this person don't get offended? How do you can't not offend everybody?
Right. It's impossible. It's impossible not to do it. But there are some things that you can do that are pretty egregious that for a fact. Like, you're not going to tell me Joe Rogan didn't know that was going to get people worked up. And I'm assuming that a lot of the people that would be upset by Joe Rogan talking that way probably don't even listen to his show. So he probably was flying under the radar because this was a compilation of clips over years. And this is the first time we're hearing about it. So I think he was just kind of flying under the radar and getting away with this. And, you know, podcasts are something that you have to go looking for. It ain't something you could turn the radio and then you just hear it on. You got to go looking for that. So you create your audience that's going to go looking for that shit. And I believe that the people that he was catering to didn't have a problem because the kind of people that would have a problem just don't listen to that kind of stuff.
I could dig that. I could definitely 100% vibe with that. Joe Rogan, I'm down on you for that, cuz.
We are down on you, sir.
You got to come out with some context, something. Let people know what was up. Again, I do understand like how people use language. You know, Sean, me, I love my words, and I feel like when I use the words that I use, I choose them carefully.
Yes.
So I don't know what's in this man's mind, but I could tell you he probably got a reason why he doing it. But remember, America still has that idea.
Yes.
Any publicity is good publicity.
Yes.
Right? Or a podcast. It makes sense for him to have some controversy because it's going to make you show up at his platform.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So Joe Rogan, we down on you, sir. We are down on you. And, you know,
down.
Yeah. What do you feel about the black people that have come like Erin-Lee, the singer who says she accepts his apology? I get that. I get that. Hold on. You're frozen. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, so the people that have come and said that they accept his apology, I don't know what it is about black people, and you brought this to my attention. Why the hell do we feel like, and why does the world and why do we as black people think we need a representative for everything? Why, how come when Josh Allen, the quarterback for the Buffalo Bills, before he got drafted, they found some distasteful tweets that he put out when he was younger in high school and in college, and it was threatening to affect his draft status. He got called to the carpet, the red carpet, and he apologized to Stephen A. Smith, who for some reason I guess represents all black people in sports when it comes to racial epithets. I don't get it, man. Like, why apologize to Stephen A. Smith and just think it's going to be all right with the rest of us? Why is Erin-Lee going on CNN and saying, I accept Joe Rogan's apology? And because she's doing that, every other person in the world, except for all black people, are going to be like, oh, if the girl that sing brown skin says it's all right, then it must be cool. Like, all black people are going to like, I'm gonna be in Starbucks drinking, and a white person gonna come in and say, "Hey, man, I'm so glad Erin-Lee made it better between all of us." Like, thank you. Like, we don't need a representative. People, we are our own individuals.
Indeed.
Why?
Sean.
Why do we have? Why are we the only? Why are we the only race that has its own sector in Congress?
Well, here we go. Political education on the move, indeed. So, when we think about the whole idea, right, as black people having a representative, right, here in America, or for anytime some type of egregious behavior happens toward black people, think about captivity, right? We go back to slavery. On the plantation, there are certain black people who hold the status of like the person that's in charge of all the slaves, right? So when the master agrees that person, or when that person accepts the master's apology, he's accepting, or they are accepting. Well, yeah, he typically was accepting it on behalf of everybody else, right? Then we move into like political space.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when the descendants started getting into the political space, it was kind of like, okay, we just need one solid voice. Yeah, we gonna have all these other voices, but when it comes to the principal voice, we need one.
Right.
So then they kind of fed Dr. King as like that voice for the nonviolent movement.
Okay.
For
Malcolm
the
X.
Christian movement. And then you had
Malcolm.
Hajj Malik Shabazz or Malcolm X
Mhm.
as the Muslim movement, right?
Mhm.
But it kind of still has that same idea of like Black people need to have somebody that's going to say, hey, this is the people. So 1971 happens, and Black people say, well, we have Congress and there's no Black representation in Congress. So then they start the Congressional Black Caucus so that the caucus could bring Black issues, like the issues for the descendants, directly to the Senate. But the unfortunate part is the people that they was hiring for the Congressional Black Caucus all wanted for their families and their own lives to be enriched. And you seeing the effects of that now. Everybody is getting kicked. Core Civic is the name of the, remember last week I was talking about Whip Clyburn. Core Civic is, so Core Civic is the name of the private prison organization. It's a private prison collective that they pay honoraria fees and whatnot and traveling fees for people in the Congressional Black Caucus as a result of the 1994 crime bill. So I'm just saying the Congressional Black Caucus is set to do that same thing that those folks on the plantation was doing, right? And we now know, because our parents didn't understand, they made us politically savvy, but they didn't understand the CBC. We now know that they ineffective. So we moving forward from that. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
Be effective in the Congressional Black Caucus now.
I feel you. So I'll say this. I'm a fan of a task force. Like task force come in, they build shit, they get the job done, and then they disband. This is what we need to be considering. And for everybody out there, I'm going to say it as plain as I can say for everybody to understand. And this is for Black people too. We are not a union. Stop. You're trying to work as like we're a union. Like unions have one representative.
Right.
And they go and we got representatives, but our representatives ain't coming to talk to us about shit. They not coming to talk to us. In a real union, nothing gets done unless the union head hears from the people. Ain't nobody asking me nothing. We ain't a union.
Dudes that they send is in charge.
Yeah,
it's all FBI guys.
We are not
like it's 30 years later. They all like, hey man, I worked for the FBI, for a couple of occasions. They won't tell you which ones.
Yeah,
come on, fam. We're
not a union. We talk forever on this, but we got a full show. So we're gonna keep it pushing. We're gonna take a break. We're gonna come on back. We got Vetrepreneur Visions. We got some really talented young people in the house that's gonna put it down and give us their experience from working on our projects, as well as working on some Hollywood stuff. So it's gonna be cool. We'll be right back. Hey everybody, this is Sean Galloway, one half of Sean and Sean Talk Shit, and I'm here to talk to you about podcast production. The market is completely flooded with podcasts, and rightfully so, because everyone deserves the right to be heard on any platform that's available. That's what makes us American. But let me tell you this, unlike our video counterparts, badly colored or shaky video is acceptable depending on the content. But bad audio, on the other hand, is completely unforgivable. Nobody will listen. You'll tune them out. In fact, an audio guru friend of mine used to say that video without good audio is just surveillance footage. Facts. This is where the professionals at Vetrepreneur Visions come in. This award-winning company excels at the audio production needed to get your podcast quality to the next level. Look, a lot of you out there already found the 57 Chevy body in the old barn, right? You got the content. Let Vetrepreneur Visions come in and look under the hood, fix things, and shine that baby up for your next show. Online, you can find the website at vetrepreneurvisions.com. For Instagram, it's simply vetrepreneur_visions. And you can find us on Twitter by searching @vetrepreneur_.
Break free, we keep screaming out their names. Vengeance, the recompense, send them to the caves. We've been submissive to obligatory change. His story never changed, the history shall remain. We blame the bishops on the pew, tutors in the school. The system got us.
What up, and welcome back to Sean and Sean Talk About Shit. Sean, right now in the building, we have Drew Brooks, Deja Stewart, and Aaron Scales from Vetrepreneur Visions. What up, gang? What's good with you?
Nothing much, man. Just trying to create, you know.
That's what's up. First of all, it's good to see y'all. I ain't seen either one of y'all it feel like forever. Yeah, it's been a while, so it's good to see y'all. Good to see y'all healthy. And thank you for coming on to the show. We appreciate it. So, talk about what we got y'all here for. Like, first of all, Keyshawn, we always talk about Vetrepreneur Visions, but go ahead and give the rundown on what it is and what Deja and Drew are doing here today.
All right, so Vetrepreneur Visions is our company. That's our brand. It's like a clearinghouse for marginalized veteran and marginalized storytellers. It is our goal to be able to give a voice to the voiceless. So our latest project, What Will Picasso Do? Our first feature film.
Feature film, produced independently.
Drew, Deja, and now Aaron, right? They all here to talk about what will Picasso do, their roles and whatnot. So Drew, Deja, whichever one to start, Aaron, whichever one to start. What was your role on Picasso?
I think we should start with Drew. Drew's the brainchild on this. So go give us the rundown, Drew.
Yeah, so this short film, What Will Picasso Do, is something that has been in the works for a minute. We started writing it maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and decided to take a leap on it and try to, make something happen. So this film is a film about a young artist who sells his painting for $1 million, and once his painting is sold, it follows the painting and the people that it encounters in their endeavors, while they have the painting. Something a little different, something a little artsy. I know a lot of stuff is reality and rap, hip hop, and there's a lot of gangster stuff out now. So, we just wanted to do something different, a different vibe. And pretty soon y'all gonna get to see it.
Yeah, that's dope. So I'll say this: I've seen this film. I wasn't around for the actual shooting of the film, but I have seen it on several levels of the edit of the edits. And I told you in the text, it gave me Spike Lee vibes. Like it just does. The way it's shot, the way it's felt, the way the actors act, it's coming together as a Spike Lee joint. Was that your intention? Was that kind of like a muse you were using?
I wanted to create that vibe of those old 90s movies, the Spike Lee movies, the John Singleton movies, the Love Joneses and things like that. Just the way they use the music and, like how you said, how the actors interact with each other. And, a lot of people look at it as like it's a love movie, but it's really not a love movie. It's just a movie about art. It incorporates some love, but, I wanted to make sure that people understood exactly what we were trying to do. So yeah, I definitely grabbed from a lot of those 90 influences and, wanted to incorporate that into this film.
Well, that's dope. You did a good job because that was the feel I got. And I text you, I told you that after I saw the first full edit of it. And that's definitely the vibe I got. So you pulled that off for sure.
Thanks to my creative director.
Yes, indeed.
And my shooter, Aaron.
Indeed.
Deja, talk about what would Picasso do? What were some of the challenging aspects of pulling off that look that Drew wanted as the director? Like, how did you guys come together to figure out what you wanted to do to pull this off?
Well, some of the problems we had, a lot of the settings were a bit modern. So it took a lot from us to kind of give that 90s feel and still be in those modern spaces. And especially like, wardrobe wise, I think it was a little bit easier, but if you have a more modern, wardrobe and like the space, then it kind of throws it off. So just finding that perfect balance that still gave you like a nostalgic feel but still let you know that it's like also a classic,
Absolutely.
Deja, people don't know that Deja kind of got 90s vibe style though. Like
I was going to say, Deja, what year were you born? What year were you
95.
born? You were born in 95.
Yeah.
So you don't even
That
really
was a
remember
great
the
year.
90s.
And
So,
95, 95 was a great year.
Yeah, it was a great year. I think so.
Biggie
Yeah.
one more chance, G.
Yeah, because like
how I define
everything about you, Deja, your style, the way you carry yourself. Like if your name was Whitley Gilbert, I would not be surprised at all. Like
if you had a character
If you,
designed on Living
if you
Single,
said you was if you said you was 32 years old, you know, we would be like, oh, you right with us. Like you
Right.
wouldn't miss a beat.
So I think that a lot of people like you. I think you grow into your name, right?
mm,
And my dad actually got my name from the Tony
Going
song that was from the Spike Lee movie. So there was a song that went with the Spike Lee movie with the one with Tyra Banks and
oh my else.
that was Higher Learning, right?
Yeah, that was High Learning.
Yes.
That was John.
No, that was John Singleton.
Yeah, indeed. That's
John Singleton.
Yeah.
Oh, that wasn't Spike Lee?
That's all I ask of
Yeah.
you.
Yeah,
So
kissing you.
my dad's actually never seen the movie. So he didn't know that she like died violently, but he heard the song
Mm-hmm.
Ask of You, which is a pretty 90s song.
Yeah,
That's where
for
I
sure.
got it.
Well, I you know, you won't die violently, at least not while you're on this show. My name is Sean, Sean. I was named after Sean Connery, and I haven't slapped any women yet, so there's chance for you. There's hope.
Other Sean's, there's other Sean's. You know, I think you guys have escaped that that stereotype. Y'all putting good in the world, you know.
Right, for sure. Erin, what's up?
Yo, what's going on, fam? How y'all feeling?
Thanks for joining us today. Erin is the camera op for what would Picasso do. She's also the lead camera operation for pretty much anything that Vetrepreneur Visions does. Talk about your role in what would Picasso do.
Like you said, I was one of the camera operators. I got a chance to be a part of this set. Like y'all said, it gave that 90s feel, and that's one era that's unforgettable, you know what I'm saying? So, the way Deja came in and critiqued that was love. It allowed me to come in and kind of look over the script and, kind of, visualize, what type of angles, to go with and all that. It did give Spike Lee vibes, so I tried to, I like the close-ups, I tried to do the close-ups, capture as much detail. I'm still learning, but, I feel like the more projects we do, the better and better, we all get, the storylines, just everything just gets better and better, with time. And I'm just grateful to be a part of the team. I know I got a lot to learn, but, you guys allow me to get in there and, capture the scenes for, allow me to make it my own, So
for sure. And I'll say this about Deja and Erin, you guys allow us to teach you. It's not like, you guys are open to anything that we have to say. And that is really appreciated. For us, I look at Sean, Drew, and I, it's kind of like you guys as mentors, because at some point, our bodies are going to tell us that we can't do this anymore. And you guys are going
My
to
body has already said no.
So
I'm already a no.
Yeah. So I really appreciate it when we're trying to give you guys these little gems that we picked up, and you guys are super receptive of it. It's really cool.
For sure.
So this project was different from all of our other projects, because this one we actually did a field trip as a team.
Yeah.
I can say so. Being that this is the first time that we kind of stepped out of our comfort zone of being in the normal space, the DMV of shooting, how did it feel going to a different environment and then trying to put your art in that environment?
Felt like big money.
I loved it. Exactly.
Like, ooh,
exactly.
New city.
I feel like we had to kind of like take in the thing that we was actually there filming.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Rather than just going to chill. And once we like got that in our mind, all right, we ready. But when we got there, we was actually, kind of gave you like a different different vibe inside your body. At least for me, it did.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like we were the main character. Like we just made it. You know,
Okay.
that scene where he's in the hotel, I'm not gonna give up too much, but he realized he makes it after he got that $1 million check. I was in my hotel like, okay. You know? So it felt the same. It was art imitating life, life imitating art.
I feel you.
You know, you all speaking a lot about that Spike Lee vibe. There's a picture that I took of Deja and Makai sitting in the space that we were shooting in New York. It legit became one of my favorite pictures, but it's because of that's the first time I really composed a picture that I like. But at the same time, it was that feel. I feel like I captured the essence of the movie for myself in that picture.
Great BTS.
Mm-hmm.
Till I passed out at the hotel.
That set for that shot was definitely something outside of what we usually do as far as like how we set it up, how we designed it, how we lit it up. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I definitely feel you on that. That's that back.
For sure. So Drew, what do you hope people get? I mean, we talked about what your inspiration was, but what are you hoping people get when they will see what would Picasso do?
I just want them to, for one, I want them to understand the concept of what we were trying to do. Because like I said, like I had to go back and re-edit some things because people were seeing it as a love movie and they couldn't get minutes out of it. Everybody like, well, what happens to this and why? But we really wanted to, and I would call Sean almost every day to just pick his brain about it, see what he thought. But we just want people to understand the story. I want people to understand the vision of the art that we was trying to convey with this one. And I want people to see the growth in the whole team. But I want people to see the growth in all the directing and all the filming, the editing, the production, the marketing. You know what I'm saying? I just want people to see our growth when they look at it at the end of the day.
That's a big vet.
Yep, that's awesome. So let me ask you this, and then we're not gonna keep you guys much longer, but the three of you also work. You guys work in the film business. You guys have worked on HBO shows and things of that nature. How is it challenging to stay busy in that field as three young Black people trying to come up in this tough business? Like, how do you guys stay busy when we aren't shooting our projects, I guess is the best question.
Well, I know for me, being on those large sets definitely makes me want to work on my personal things more, because you're on set for so long, 15-hour days, some days more, and you realize how much time you're giving to someone else's project. Mm-hmm. And you're also, in some cases, learning a lot, but it just makes you want to take that back to the team or take that back to your projects. So I know as soon as my first big show ended, I hit the pavement. I was like, this is pretty easy, it seems like, to do. And you also see how much like unnecessary things that they add. Like, we've done so much with so little. I'm like, oh, now that I know this, we can do this even better this time, you know? So It just makes me want to go and, do my own things, even if it's on the weekends when I'm not shooting on like big sets. I'll come or like while I would take my my sides, and if I had an idea, I would write like pieces of the script on the sides while I'm at a lockup, stuff like that, and then type it up when I get home.
You sound like a PA right now, boy.
Erin, what you got to add to that?
Nah, I agree. I absolutely agree with everything they just said. Like, you get on these sets and you see what they do and how much we've done with so little, and it just, with all the hours you put in, for these big sets, and how much they do, it's like, man, we could have knocked this out. Like, Then knock this out easy,
Yeah.
So, but it is a good learning experience because you get a chance to see all the moving parts of a set, and, understand the different positions and things like that, but, like they just said, you out there 10, 12, 15 hours, and it just makes you even more eager to put that in, on your own project.
Absolutely. Yeah. That was one of the things I struggle with crossing over into filmmaking, because I came from news, and everything in news gets done from the rooter to the tutor every single day. Like, you're not leaving out the building without a story being complete from start to finish. So when I got into film, it was driving me crazy with how slow things were moving. It drove me up. And I used to complain to Sean, like, it drove me up a wall, because I'm like, okay, why aren't we moving right now? We got to, like, but there's a deadline in film and there's a deadline in news, and they're two different things. So that's something I had to come to understand. Still don't like it, but I'm learning to deal with it. Yeah. Drew, you got anything to add?
I think for all of us, this year was kind of different for us. Early on in the year, I kind of felt like it was a wasted year, because we weren't shooting our own stuff, and everybody was just sitting and waiting. But overall, after the year ended and I look back, Shaw, you've already had experience in the industry, and you, like you said, you've been doing the news, and actually everybody actually seeing how the set works. For me, that's what I wanted to take from it. Like, I don't care if it's whatever job it is. I don't care who it's for. I just wanted to be the person who could make sure everybody was able to get in there, and they were able to see exactly how it works. So when we are doing our own stuff, we don't feel bad when, a shot ain't right, or when it takes an hour to light, or, things like that.
Right.
I also think that, I don't know, like, if Deja and Aaron realize it, but the people that we've been working for are like the best of the best. Like, these are the top tier guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no BET people or any of that stuff above these guys that we're working for. So, we learning from the best. That's what we got to really take from that, and the opportunities that we can give ourselves from being connected with these people. So, I think it's going to be a good year for us. I think everybody learns a lot. I think everybody's synced it, and everybody's like, yeah, we can do it. Like, I know we can do it now. There's no second guessing. So I think it's going to be a lot different once we all get together and do start shooting our stuff.
Absolutely. And that's something big to take from it. Yeah, because like you said, like, even the big people make mistakes. Like, I remember talking to you one time, Drew. I believe there was one show that was really critically acclaimed that you worked on, that was on Stars, critically acclaimed. And you told me, I would have never known this, but they messed up a couple of shoots and ended up cutting a whole episode from the series.
Cut a whole episode, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's
so the big people do mess up.
Yeah, big time, and they don't nobody ever know what they doing. You know what I'm saying? It's like from the top to the bottom. So I definitely don't feel bad when I'm on set and I don't know how to answer a question, but it just kind of makes me like be sharp, see what to look for. I know, like, Deja, we had Deja as a production assistant for our stuff for a long time. I don't think she really understood what it was until she actually did it. And now she can, I can get 30 production assistants to come help. You know what I'm saying? So it's just people seeing it and actually getting into the game and knowing that they can play. That's the dope thing about what we did this past year.
I'm with it, man. Well, I appreciate y'all coming on today. This is our art episode, and y'all the first people we thought about to get on here, and we gonna ask y'all to come on back. When does What Would Picasso Do? When does it come out? When can people be looking for it?
We have a tentative release date right now. We're gonna try to get it out by the end of the month. We're gonna do some soft screenings first, just to see how people take to it.
Okay.
And we're gonna put it in a few festivals before we actually released it out. But y'all will have access to it soon. So just be ready, stay on alert, and we're gonna definitely let y'all know when it's time.
Yeah, we definitely gonna keep pushing that as a project that people are gonna be looking for, and we're gonna have y'all back on here. Like, we're gonna try to do an art episode every month, and we're gonna try to just have y'all on just to talk about what's going on in the industry, because is valued. There's a lot of young Black people that want to get involved in this or think they want to. And, you know, it's good to have people their age talking about it. It's good to have people our age. And, you know, we want to build this world up.
Right. Before we get out of here, I know last week Sean told y'all that he was the director of nonfiction for Vetrepreneur Visions. I just want to let y'all know that Drew is the director of fiction at Vetrepreneur Visions. So that's the way that the team moves. So thank y'all for coming on, man. We definitely appreciate it.
One thing, y'all. Shout out to everybody on this call, because all of y'all was nominated for something with Terrell and the Rappahannock, and you know we still racking up stuff on this movie. And getting best cinematography, we getting best production design, producer, cinematography, best short film, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. So shout out to y'all.
Shout out to Terrell and the Rappahannock, though.
Yes.
A gala. We're just flying out to New York, going to galas. Who are we?
You want to talk about shooting fast. Terrell and the Rappahannock was shot in less than 48 hours. Yeah. And just to let everybody know, there wasn't even really an ending planned. So the fact that it got done and the ending just got kind of like decided on set and it turned out the way it did and it's racking up so many awards it's astounding. Like, it's really great.
Real reality TV.
Yeah.
Yo, Terror is the movie that showed me that we could shoot movies whenever we want and have we want, and we could just do it because we could shoot.
Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? All right. Well, thank y'all for coming on Sean and Sean Talk About Shit. Like I say, y'all gonna come back on. This ain't the last time. We're gonna take a break and we're gonna come on back with Jamil Honesty.
Bye, guys.
All right, y'all be safe, man.
Peace.
I love y'all.
I love y'all too.
Hey, everybody. This is Sean Galloway, one half of Sean and Sean Talk Shit, and I'm here to talk to you about podcast production. The market is completely flooded with podcasts, and rightfully so, because everyone deserves the right to be heard on any platform that's available. That's what makes us American. But let me tell you this. Unlike our video counterparts, badly colored or shaky video is acceptable depending on the content. But bad audio, on the other hand, is completely unforgivable. Nobody will listen. You'll tune them out. In fact, an audio guru friend of mine used to say that video without good audio is just surveillance footage. Facts. This is where the professionals at Vetrepreneur Visions come in. This award-winning company excels at the audio production needed to get your podcast quality to the next level. Look, a lot of you out there already found the 57 Chevy body in the old barn, right? You got the content. Let Vetrepreneur Visions come in and look under the hood, fix things, and shine that baby up for your next show. Online, you can find the website at vetrepreneurvisions.com. For Instagram, it's simply vetrepreneur_visions. And you can find us on Twitter by searching at vetrepreneur_.
Break free. We keep screaming out their names. Vengeance, the recompenses, send them to the caves. We've been submissive to obligatory change. His story never changed. The history shall remain. We blame the bishops on the pew, tutors in the school. The system got us food.
All right. Welcome back to Sean and Sean Talk About Shit. We are here right now with a special guest. We got a special guest, Sean.
Okay.
We got the man whose music we've been blessed with to open and close our show. And it sets the tone for the show. We got Jamil Honesty here. What's up, man?
Peace. What's going on, man? How y'all doing, man?
We doing good. How you feeling tonight?
Man, I feel great, and I'm blessed to be to be invited on you guys' platform. I'm a fan of the show. Told you that.
Absolutely.
Sean, that, I dig it. I dig it. So yeah, man.
Cool.
Most definitely.
So for those
Welcome
of you
to the show, Jamil.
Yeah. So for those, I'm gonna give a little background. So the song we used that opened our show is called Rebello, and it's from Jamil's project, the Rufus Buck Project, which has been out for how long, Jamil?
It's been out. The original was the last quarter of 2020, and then we just released the deluxe edition July of 21.
You just y'all just put something down on wax too, right?
Yeah, so
y'all got some albums
the wax,
out there.
Yeah, 8 months later, man. It took us about 8 months because of the whole pandemic thing. So we just got the vinyl back.
Okay.
So yeah, man.
I'm gonna get me one of them. I'm gonna get me one of them vinyls, and I'm gonna pay for it. You hear, black people? I'm paying for it. Paying for it.
Yes.
Don't get it twisted.
Them too, bro.
Yeah. Don't get it twisted. We gonna rock to his music, but we gonna support him too, you know. So
and you get it autographed too.
Oh, see, see what happens?
Yeah. Man.
I appreciate that. Oh, yeah, right? That's hot. I love the artwork. Who did the artwork?
My man Jesse Blair out of I'm getting ready to say Canada.
Okay.
You know it's late for me. Canada. Lord have mercy.
See, look at hip hop still. I told you, Sean, hip hop connects the world, bro.
Look at 100%. So we're going to get into that about that because this project actually had people reaching out to Jamil all over the world. We're going to talk about that a little bit later, but let's get into the whole, the song Rebello. Let's talk about Rebello a little bit before we move on with the rest of the album, because it sets the tone for the album. It sets the tone for our show. Where did it come from? Talk about it.
Yeah.
So Rebello, and I like to say that's actually my favorite song on the album. It's the first song that I recorded for the album, and it does exactly what you said. It sets the tone for the album. Once I recorded it, it pretty much set the direction for the rest of the album. And I like to call the album itself smart riot music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you wanted a song that pretty much pieces everything together for you, like what is Rufus Buck about? Rebello is the song.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Rebello means rebel. So that's what it is. It's rebel music, man.
Okay.
This was created. I mean, I know you didn't. It's kind of loaded. But it was a mood. It was a mood. This whole project is a mood. And it's centered around just me being frustrated on what was going on or what is going on with the people, with my people, the Black and brown community. That in conjunction with the pandemic, everything that was happening in 2020, and I, as we spoke earlier, I was talking about how 2020 was like a decade,
right?
It was like
1 year felt like 10. You're right.
It was like 10
for sure.
Different phases, man. So it was just a lot. I mean, we've been dealing with what we've been dealing with for over 400 years, right? But it was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back. Just in 2020 was like, what the hell is going on? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so that just kind of, that set everything for me to create Rufus Buck. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't just come to me right away because, a lot of times with artists, we are usually on the outside looking in and we're able to create from that vantage point. But in this instance, it was like, I was right there in the middle of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a Black man, so I can go outside, I can get shot by the cops, or a cop could set his knee on my neck for 9 to 10 minutes or however long. Rest in peace to Mr. Floyd, man, Brother Floyd, you know what I'm saying? That could happen to me, or my brother, my own brother that looks like me could shoot me down, or I could die from this monster, that we got going out here that's killed, several family members, friends, celebrities, all kinds of stuff that's been going on with this. Yeah.
So I'll be for a blessing.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like all of that. I had to take all of that in, and as an artist, man, that's something that's usually our job to kind of reflect the times. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, yeah, 100%.
This situation, this was hard. So, when it finally came to me, because I feel like music is a spiritual thing. When it finally came to me, it just started pouring, right? So, but before all of that, you know, and I was trying to figure out what kind of sound I wanted, what was the face, what would be the face of this project. I started going online, and for some reason I was looking up Black Cowboys, because in my mind I'm like, yeah, I wanted to have that kind of, you know, Western,
that out west, that old
cowboy,
West feel.
cowboy kind of sound and feel, right? So I started looking up, and
first of all, to everybody out there, Googling Black Cowboys is one of the dopest things you can do. Like, there are so many stories out there that are untold about Black Cowboys. But go ahead, Jamil. I just wanted to let people know that. Like, look it up.
Word. So I ran across, well, I already knew about Bass Reeves. So I started looking into Bass Reeves, and I saw that he was connected to this gang called the Rufus Buck gang, right? So I said, oh, let me check this out. And I saw that it was a group of black so-called Negro and so-called Native American brothers, and of course, as any other group or ethnic group, Black Panthers, whatever, etc., they were demonized. They were called renegades, they were called criminals, and the government did hang them, and deemed them rapists and murderers and this, that, and the third. And they were very young too, by the way. But as I did some more research, I found out that they were actually heroes. They were actually, set up to defend, the reservations in that area, like I think in areas of Oklahoma. And, they weren't what I read the first time, which was, a band of them, just criminals. You know what I mean? These people were standing up for something.
Right.
They were standing up to defend their people. You know what I'm saying? So when I saw that and I kind of compared that to how I was feeling, I was like, yo, this is dope. Then I found out that the around the time when they were hung, it was on around my birthday.
Oh wow.
It was like July 6th. Yeah, July 6th that's my birthday. And it was like 1890 something. But I can't get the
exact date.
Accurate date.
Cool.
Yeah, the exact
that's
date.
Cool.
But yeah, but I just, when I saw that, I was like, wow. I think I ran that across you.
Yeah, you
Sean.
did. Yep.
Yeah. And yeah, man. So that really sparked it for me. So once I got that, we started dealing with the artwork, and I got with Holy Smokes, and Holy Smokes created the whole soundscape for me.
Yeah.
And it was just, once I did Rebello, we were just banging them out. Yeah, man.
I could tell you for me as a hip hop junkie, right? I've been a hip hop head since I was, since 1978. Not even, I'm not even the producer though, right? Right. So, but for me, this record feels like, I promise this record feel like 1993 to 1999. This is like my favorite run of hip hop. This record feels like that for me. I feel like this record is give me Souls of Mischief. It give me Common. It give me Roots Crew. It give me Wu-Tang.
Yeah, definitely the Wu.
Every single thing from 1993 to 1999. I thank you for this project on that part.
Man,
absolutely,
thank you. Thank you for listening, man. Thank you for listening. I have so many people coming to me now that, like the vinyl drop, and, you don't trip off of it, man. As an artist, art is subjective, right? So it's like when you put it up there, you put it out to the world, it doesn't really belong to you anymore. You know what I'm saying? But it's good that people appreciate it for whatever they appreciate it for. But, it was something that was very visceral for me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, you know, the fact that people are connected to it in whatever way, it that hits home for me, man. And you know, I thank God for that.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about some of the features on this. It's not you just spitting all the way through. You do carry the joint, but there are a few songs where you had some features in there. You know, I think I told you my favorite song on the joint is the Lamentation. Talk about some of those connections that you made with this album, and you know, how they were able to carry your vision through.
Yeah, Lamentations is one of my favorite too. Lamentations, I reached out to Key Turner, who's a phenomenal MC and songstress. You know what I'm saying? She's out of Virginia. I think she lives in ATL, Atlanta now, but phenomenal MC. And what I had, my vision for that was, you know, I wanted a Black woman involved in the project. I wanted a Black woman's voice on this project, because what I wanted her to do is to embody not just the Black woman, but just our people, you know, just our people, you know what I mean? You know, and I base it off of what it really came from. It came from a scripture or a story in the Bible, where a prophet ran into this woman, and the woman was crying, and he was asking, and the prophet was asking the woman why she was crying. She was like, she was crying about her son, and he got on her because he was like, this is during the time where the people of God were really struggling. They was dealing with, you know, just, you know, catching a lot of hell and all of that. And a lot of the Israelites were dying. So he was like, well, here it is. You're, you know, you're crying about your son, but our people are dying, right? So she just kept crying. She kept crying. Well, come to find out that woman was actually a spirit, but that woman represented the land of Israel, and it represented the land of Israel, and the land of Israel was mourning over her people. So the son that she was mourning over was the people,
all of the people.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I wanted Keith Turner to kind of embody that, and she did a good job. She did a wonderful job.
And I remember I remember you talking during the Rufus Buck conversation, shot by Vetrepreneur Visions and Binary Stars, for y'all that don't know. The Rufus Buck conversation, which is a short doc. I remember you when you were talking to Holy Smokes, you were saying it was also very important for you to get the women, Black women and women involved in this project, because, you know, you were saying they were the ones that are often left holding the bag. You know, when our young Black men are dying, when they're killed, you know, when Black men go to jail, it's often the women that are left to hold up the community. And I thought that was a really important part of that documentary.
Right, sure. Right. Most definitely. I mean, you know, like I said, you know, what I was telling Sean, man, it's poetry, man. So yeah, it means that, you know, I wanted to get that across too, because, you know, the Black man, the Black woman has always been the backbone, you know, and a lot of times we have to, you know, my mother, she, you know, she was holding down the fort. Like my father wasn't around, you know what I'm saying?
I was raised that one.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, Black women.
Shout out to my mom, dude.
Yeah, shout out to mine too. Shout out to my wife. Yeah, man.
Shout out to my wife too.
Yeah. Right. You know, it's very strong human beings. You know, I would say the greatest creation, one of the greatest creations of God, man. Is the Black woman. Is the Black woman, yeah.
Okay. So when we talk about Rufus Buck, and for those of you that are connecting, this is the same character that was based on The Harder They Fall. It's just that they took in Hollywood and Jamil kept it more true to the story. So it is the same character. It was a real person, but it's not the same story. So what do you want people to get out of this project when they listen to it?
Right.
Like I said in the documentary, it is a letter to my people. You know what I'm saying? So what I want them to get is stop being so distracted by the things that are being put before us. You know what I'm saying? And really see things for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? To the government and those that are in charge, that you ain't right, and you know that there's a thing called I wouldn't say a thing, but there is a God, man. And God is a just God. So whatever you put out there is what you're gonna get back. I'll say that. And just overall, the overall story is right is right and wrong is wrong. You know what I'm saying?
You can say it like your granny them used to say, God don't like ugly.
Yeah, God don't like ugly, man. Right. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's this is one of them things where, I ain't sweet talking. I'm not sweet talking nobody, man.
Yeah.
From the beginning of the project to the end, like I'm taking myself out of because I'm not an angry person, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But this is it's a very angry a very angry project, man, because that was the mood that I was in. And I was surprised that I could do that throughout the whole project. I mean, I'm talking to everybody. I'm talking about people, scolding the government.
Yeah.
scolding the powers that be.
And Holy Smokes did as good. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, y'all.
Yeah. I want to say this right here. I think it's interesting that you said that your inspiration for this record was George Floyd, right? A lot of people don't know that George Floyd's great-grandfather fought in the Civil War, right? And as a result of fighting in the Civil War, he was awarded a 500-acre parcel in North Carolina for his family, right? But then it was systematically taken back by the same government that he fought for. And then his great-grandson died on the streets. But then the opening line for Rebello is, I'm a son of a slave. Yep. So don't get it twisted that he really had inspiration from the energy that created us to get
wow,
this
that's crazy.
Thank you.
That's crazy. Yeah, no problem, man. That's crazy. What I say, I said I don't want equality. I just want what my father promised me. Because let's talk about that, because when we talk about reparation, in the grand scheme of things, when we talking about what's really real, that's a joke. You know what I'm saying? So how you gonna give somebody something back? Man, let me try to explain. The whole world belongs to us. Right. So how you going, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So reparations is a joke.
Yeah.
So in order for you, that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I don't want equality. I want what my father promised me. The father promised us the kingdom. The kingdom is the whole planet. So if you're gonna pay us back, that means that you have to get up off of your throne and give us the throne back. Now, are they going to
recognize my lineage?
Are they going to do that? No, they're not going to do that.
They will.
No. What I'm saying is they will, but it's not going to be voluntarily. It's going to be involuntarily. But they will. You're right. Absolutely right. But I didn't want to really get that deep with you. Don't get y'all in trouble.
It's fine.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up, because we do a lot of talking. I identify ethnically as an American descendant of slavery, right? That is my ethnic identity. And I tell everybody that I don't identify as an African American. There's various reasons why. And I feel like it would be disrespectful for me to identify as an African American because I've never been to Africa, and my 8 generations of my family have been born in America. So that being said, to the point of reparations, there is an organization fighting for reparations on behalf of the descendants of American chattel slavery. So yes, I do agree that that the whole planet does belong to us as the children of God. And we definitely bet Ezra Hashem, God willing, or God with God's help, right? We will get the what we were promised from the Father.
Right. But I just, that's what that line was about.
Yeah.
That was.
I'm with all of that.
Yeah. So yeah, and
I told you this record is like building. It reminded me of being in high school when I used to build with the homie. Right, man. God look, peace. God look.
Right. Yeah, man. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I like I said, I'm glad you dig it, man. Because I'm a old soul in terms of like how I listen to music. Like, I mean, there was a time where I didn't even rock with hip hop like that. I was into like old soul music, you know what I'm saying? And so one of my biggest inspirations in terms of like lyricism and writing music is Stevie Wonder. Just the way he puts together his songs and the imagery. You know what I'm saying? Like I use that a lot. How he could just say one thing and it can mean so many other things.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
No doubt. So before we get out of here, I want you to talk about how I mentioned earlier, I just want to come full circle. Talk about how Rebello and the Rufus Buck Project has had people from all over the world reaching out to you, talking about how it's inspired them.
Yeah, and that's how I came to the conclusion that the fact that this is not just a letter to my people, but it's also a letter to everyone and that's dealing with the struggle, so to speak. So I had a white man from the Ukraine hit me.
We know what they're going through right now. We know what they're going through right now.
Facts.
Right.
Big facts.
Right. And
y'all be safe.
Right, man. Salute to them and blessings and prayers to them. But he was like, yo, he was like, that song Rebello, it helps me so much when I think about my son, and I just want to thank you for creating it. And I'm like, yo, I'm thinking in my back of my mind, like, yo, I didn't create this song for him, but the message behind it fits the whole scale. Like, if it could, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's fitting. It's fitting for everybody that's dealing with that. It's fitting. So, that was ill, man. That was ill. And I have a few people from that area, Ukraine and Russia that really dig this record, man.
Yeah. And
it's probably because of what they're going through, but it's like the energy. Music is energy, man. So I think they could just feel that energy, because it comes with that brute force, like, yo, I'm tired of this shit.
Yeah. I'm 100%.
Burn buildings.
For sure.
Let's go out here and riot, some, loot some shit. You know what I mean? But,
so like you mentioned that before too, about the riot and the looting and people not understanding why Black people tear things up, and for people that can't see, I'm doing air quote, their neighborhood. And you pointed out to me that it's easy because that stuff doesn't belong to us. It's not our stuff.
Right.
Like,
so they don't care. Yeah.
They don't care because the CVS is not run by, Jesse Galloway Sr., my grandfather, who had a penny candy store in Sandtown. It would have never gotten touched in that riot. You know what I'm saying?
Talk that talk.
Yeah, it would have never gotten touched because my grandfather took care of people in the neighborhood with his store. So, that CVS, it wasn't put there by anybody that anybody in that neighborhood knew. You know what I'm saying? So that's what,
and that's the thing too, man.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And that's the thing too. You know, for I don't know how long, you know, these companies, they come into these neighborhoods, and it's not only that they come in there and they're making money off of us, but then it's the way they treat us too.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, like you said, your grandfather, right? You know, he wasn't treating people like a lot of times we get treated. When we go into these stores, they follow us around. They still doing that.
Right.
Follow you around, talk to you any kind of way, crazy and all that. So then when it's time to loot and riot, you know, your ass is grass. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
You know what I mean? Your ass is grass, man. You know. But yeah, man.
Okay. Well, where can we find you? Where can we find your music, man?
Okay, so that's a great question. Bandcamp, Jamil Honesty, JAMIL Honesty, HONESTY.bandcamp.com. Most, if not all, of my catalog is on Bandcamp. I would urge you, if you know, a lot of artists like myself, they are on Bandcamp, because Bandcamp, when you want to support your favorite artists, you know, you pretty much when you support them, or you go to their page or whatever, the Bandcamp, they're getting that money directly to them. They're getting a large percentage of it, as opposed to you streaming their record. You know, they got to wait forever to get the money. But if you really want to support, you know, artists like myself, you know, go to Bandcamp. You know, I got you know, you can stream it. You can stream my my record, Rufus Buck, and all the other stuff that I have on there. I got beat tapes, I got mixtapes, I got all kinds of one-offs and singles and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
If you really want to experience Jamil Honesty, go to my Bandcamp, Jamil Honesty .bandcamp.com. You can cop the new vinyl that I got, Rufus Buck.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Deluxe edition.
Yes, sir.
It's a gold. actually have the gold copy, and the special thing about this is I will autograph it.
Nice.
I will sign it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm coming for that as soon as I get back in town.
You already know what it is.
Yeah, no doubt, man. You know, and I got CDs, I got tapes, I got T-shirts, all of that, man. So
cool.
Come check me out. Yeah, so that's where you can find my music. Of course, you can stream it. I'm not saying that you shouldn't, because I respect that grind too, because it does actually help with the reach.
Right.
Discover you. So yeah, I'm on all DSPs. Whatever you use, you know, you can find Rufus Buck, the deluxe edition and the original one on all the DSPs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's how you can find me, man.
Okay,
and I'm on
cool.
IG. I'm on IG mostly. Jamil_Honesty. Pretty much on everything, but mostly on IG, Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes on Facebook.
Yeah.
Shout out to Facebook or Metaverse, or whatever it's called. Yeah. Is it Metaverse?
Meta? They just call. I think it's just Meta right now. It's just Meta. But yeah, all right, cool. So before we get out of here, this is the last thing I promise. I like to give people shout outs for the things that they've done that I consider to be big. And Sean, something we didn't discuss, I didn't tell you about, is you can hear Jamil Honesty on Shade 45.
Yeah. Turn up.
You've been getting spins on Sirius Radio, Shade 45, which is owned by Eminem. So he been getting some spins on there. One of his songs was playing on there. He also got some good play from the joint Pam Grier. I don't know if you heard that song. I'll send it to you later. But that's a dope joint. He got some videos out there you can catch on YouTube. And we appreciate you. Yeah, we appreciate you coming through, brother.
Yeah, thanks for sliding through, Home Slice.
Hey man, listen, like I said, I love what you guys are doing. And Sean, again, we kind of brushed over the doc, but I definitely want to thank you for taking the time, man, through all this nastiness, man, coming out with your mask on. We masked up, we out here, in the trenches recording this this documentary, man. It was very special time, man. I appreciate it. So y'all look out for that too, man. The documentary's coming out.
Yeah, we're not done. We're not done, man. We're not done. We're gonna have a whole nother. We're gonna have you back on. We're really gonna dig into that. Because like you said, we want to talk more about. We want to talk more about the actual album and the release, and then we'll as things come out, we'll have you back and we'll talk about that, Doc. We'll get into the weeds with that.
Oh yeah, no doubt, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. And I'm digging. Definitely digging your music too, man. I told Sean that, man. So yeah,
appreciate that, my brother.
You know what that means.
I'm finna grab one of them beat tapes off Bandcamp though. I'm finna go ham on one of them though.
Oh yeah, I dropped the latest one, the Proving Grounds. That's my latest joint. So
I'm gonna prove something on it. I'm either prove I can do it or I can't do it. One of the two.
Word up, man. It's been beautiful, man. You guys really made me feel comfortable, man. I was kind of nervous, but yeah, this is dope, man. This is dope.
For sure. Appreciate it, man.
My brother.
All right. Well, thank you. Man. Thank you for coming on, Jamil Honesty. We appreciate you. Thank you. We'll have you back on, and we'll be back right after this message.
Peace.
For sure. Hey, everybody. This is Sean Galloway, one half of Sean and Sean Talk Shit, and I'm here to talk to you about podcast production. The market is completely flooded with podcasts, and rightfully so, because everyone deserves the right to be heard on any platform that's available. That's what makes us American. But let me tell you this. Unlike our video counterparts, badly colored or shaky video is acceptable depending on the content. But bad audio, on the other hand, is completely unforgivable. Nobody will listen. You'll tune them out. In fact, an audio guru friend of mine used to say that video without good audio is just surveillance footage. Facts. This is where the professionals at Vetrepreneur Visions come in. This award-winning company excels at the audio production needed to get your podcast quality to the next level. Look, a lot of you out there already found the 57 Chevy body in the old barn, right? You got the content. Let Vetrepreneur Visions come in and look under the hood, fix things, and shine that baby up for your next show. Online, you can find the website at vetrepreneurvisions.com. For Instagram, it's simply Vetrepreneur_Visions. And you can find us on Twitter by searching at Vetrepreneur_.
Break free, we keep screaming out their names. Vengeance, the recompense, and send them to the caves. We've been submissive to obligatory change. His story never changed, the his story shall remain. We blame the bishops on the pew, tutors in the school. The system got us food and division too.
Welcome back to Sean and Sean Talk About Shit. Hey. Sean, we got a special guest right now. For those of you who don't know, I am a reality TV junkie. I'm not as bad as I used to be, but there are a few shows that I keep going back to. One of those shows is Married at First Sight. And we have an expert here today on Married at First Sight. This isn't, now let me get this straight, Sean. This is an unofficial, we aren't tied into the network or the show. But we're going to talk about this show because this is absolutely insane. We got Miss Erin-Lee from Baltimore in here on the show today.
What up, Erin?
Hi.
Welcome to the show, Erin. Thank you for carving out some time in your day to talk to us.
Indeed.
So Married at First Sight, for those who don't know, is a show that comes on Lifetime. And Lifetime has really stepped up its game with programming, so much so to the fact that they had to create a movie channel just for their movies because they have so much programming. And Married at First Sight is exactly what the title says. Erin, would you like to go into dive a little bit into it before we talk about the craziness we've seen this season so far?
Yes. So the premise of Married at First Sight is that you have three experts. What it's supposed to be a social, let me start there. This is supposed to be a social experiment of what happens when three relationship experts match a bride and a groom that don't know each other, meet at the altar for a legally binding marriage, and then say, live together for 6 weeks. And at the end of that 6 to 8 weeks, you decide, do you want to stay together or do you want to divorce? So that's the basic premise of it. Now, the experts, you have a marriage and sex therapist by the name of Dr. Viviana Coles, who is a Latino woman.
Is she Latino? I didn't know that.
She is. And then you have Pastor Kyle, who is, well, he is a marriage therapist. He obviously, with pastor in the name, he is also supposed to help with if there were any interfaith struggles as well. And he is a Black man.
Yeah, and he is one of the most patient people I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, he's something. And then you have Dr. Pepper, and it is her experiment, and she is a sociologist. So those are the three experts that allegedly match these poor, hapless souls.
Yes. And I want to say this. First of all, I understand this is a social experiment. I get that. I get it. And it's amazing for television. But anybody that agrees to be married at first anything, they got some mental issues going on. Wouldn't you agree?
I don't see. I'm okay with arranged marriages, and I understand that there are different types of arranged marriages. So I could see how this could happen or work. And I'm not necessarily going to say that you're crazy. Well, no, that, you know, now I would, because if you watch this show for several seasons and see what they do to you, you crazy.
So yeah, and I agree. I'm gonna go back. Arranged marriage is different. You know, those people, that's a whole different. This is supposed to be a social experiment, and we're not talking about, like, you know, there are several social experiments that go on, you know, but this one is kind of extreme to me. First of all, they seem to find they seem to find the people that fail at that break records at failing in their own relationships.
Wow.
And these people, their thoughts for marriage. I'll say that they that hoes out there for marriage. That's what they are, Sean.
I mean, just so I can add this little bit in. Don't everybody get married at first sight for real? You dig what I'm saying? Like if you get married to the person that you with and y'all been together before y'all get married, ain't that the same thing?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I dated my wife for 3 years before we got married, and although I can't say everything wasn't revealed in myself and in her, it was pretty much what we signed up for.
At first sight.
Yeah, but it's different.
Thanks for playing Dr. Pepper's game.
This show is just, it's insane to me. The fact that anybody would show up and go to a tuxedo fitting and a dress fitting 1 week and then walk down the aisle and not know these people, not know their family, not know anything. It's just insane to me, but it is very entertaining for me to watch because I love to see humans break down. I love to see humans break down.
That's the meaty part right there. That's the part right there that y'all can explain to the world.
Go ahead, Erin.
Oh, so then you're very satisfied, and you have been satisfied for the last several seasons.
Oh, yes.
You're eating good.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I love it because this is the thing. People who are I don't want to offend. I'm gonna forget it. People who are crazy.
Talk about it, Sean.
People who are crazy don't think they crazy, and to watch them implode and then not realize at the end of the day we're still crazy, and the reason why they should have never done anything like this in the first place. Like, you know, the guy that got married on this season. You know, I'm talking about the young Black guy, Elijah Wan. Serial player. They call him the playboy on his lower third, Keyshawn. Sean. They call him the playboy on his lower or what do they call it? The former player, something like that. This guy messed around with so many women, he had a separate name. So that half the women in his life know him by a completely different name that ain't even his name.
Yeah. And he is so ashamed of it that he deleted his social media account so that his wife couldn't track back some of his shenanigans.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who does
and
that?
This current season is being held in what city was it, Erin?
Boston. And this is the second time they've been to Boston. Yes.
Yeah, Boston is special. I got a lot of family in Boston, and it's a special town, especially for the social experiment like this. And I just don't know, man. Like when you talk about something like marriage, like first of all, like everybody, when you go through counseling, when you go through premarital, when you go through they always talk about how sacred marriage is. And how you got to be ready to give your all and this, that, and the other. And then everything that you want to say comes out, everything she want to say come out, or your significant other. Right. And, you feel like you got closer through that, or you feel like you didn't get closer and you don't get married. These people are tossing all of that out the window.
Well, it's worse because their premarital counseling is with the experts. And so they tell you, I want this. So you brought up Olajuwon and you brought up the fact that he's a playboy. Right. They matched him with Katina. Katina has said, listen, I have been cheated on several times in my past. I have a sensitivity here. I want to move past that. This is why I want to get married at first sight. So they said, who would be a really good match for you? A playboy. Right. Because they know that it's going to be a trigger. And so she shared these vulnerabilities, and then they matched her with someone who is the antithesis of that. Another example, the strongest couple I think they have this season is Steve and Noi. Now, Steve has spent the last, 4 months of the pandemic. He was laid off. And so he said, you know what? I can take this time off and I'm going to live in my car. I'm going to do some traveling. I'm going to get in tune with myself. But I'm also 38 years old and I would like to get married. He currently does not have a 9-to-5-ish job. He does freelance. This is not something they want to really talk about, but they want to act like he's a hobo and who camping is tantamount to him and it's really important to him that you talked about that sacred space. Camping is it for him. And they match him with Noi. Now, Noi, her family comes from Laos and she was born in a refugee camp.
Right. Oh, wow.
And she has said, it's really important for me to be stable and financial because of my start. So they match them together and he's like, let's live out at the beach. And she's like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
Right.
And he's saying, well, it's really important to me. People, y'all knew that this is a young woman who had a start that could be traumatic.
Right.
And a lot of it was outside. So what are you going to say? Well, we can't be married if you don't want to spend time with me outside. Really? Really?
Right.
That seems diabolical.
And that's the show.
Wow. Dude.
Yeah. So with and Noi is also a person that has double personalities to the point where she has she puts on a wig and goes out and dances and does her own thing. To the nickname of Noi, the character's name is Noi. So if this man is willing to put up with that, if he wasn't to put up with that, you can get your ass out to the woods a couple times a month, in my opinion.
I'm with that.
What?
It seemed like
you don't think so?
No.
Listen,
you know what? Well, how come?
No, I want Keyshawn. No. Because if I'm being perfectly honest, I feel as though that noisy persona is not legitimate.
Okay.
And the reason that is for. Oh, I think that's the producers putting on because how do we find a way to make her interesting? Oh, I know.
Television.
Noisy. Yeah. Cause it's the B-roll of her dancing in a really cheap wig to no music. But when we got to the bachelorette party and other places where Noisy could have and should have come out, did she?
Right. No, she didn't.
Okay.
No, she didn't.
And
so
Noisy
I don't believe it's real.
And Noisy
sneaky producers.
Noisy also didn't show up at the wedding reception on the dance floor. So that's a good point. That's a good point.
Aaron is a real legit connoisseur of this show, man.
I told you, man, we don't get no jump on here. I told you she was good. I told you she was going to be good. Like, yeah. So, you know, we could go back when we talk about this season. What is this season? What 15, if I'm not mistaken?
Oh, it could be, yes.
I think it's like season 15 of this show, and there appears to be one woman on this show that could take the cake of everybody that's ever been a participant of Married at First Sight. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh my goodness.
Erin?
She's a good person. What are you talking about? She's a good person.
Alyssa.
Yes.
Sit your ass down.
Okay, so for Keyshawn, the reason why I jokingly said she's a good person is because they cut to that every time she acts like an asshole. She's like, "How could you do this to me? I'm a good person." Like white woman tears.
Yeah,
it is terrible. And so let's like roll back on Alyssa and her match, Chris.
Yes.
So Alyssa, her lower third says like looking for a forever home. So we are told that she
like a stray dog.
Yes.
Which is funny because she's into saving dogs. So
my goodness, look at me with my insight, man.
Absolutely. And so she's supposedly this cowgirl in Boston. But she also says, if this man that you matched me with has straggly teeth, I'm out of here.
Please do not tell me. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, you know what I'm about to tell you.
Please go ahead.
So they did exactly that. And she gets to the altar. And at one point, I swear she looks over her shoulder to the left, like, really? And like try to clock and escape. But she's there and she says her vows. And then when they wanted to take pictures, she's like, I wouldn't do that. Like, you don't want to just like snuggle up to your husband? And she's like, no.
They asked her to snuggle up to him for a photo. Like, she was like, can you just put your arm around? She was like, I wouldn't do that normally in a photo. Like,
oh my goodness. Like, it's not a normal photo though, right?
No. Like you want me to be in his proximity? I wouldn't do that. So that's what she says. And then, he talks to her family and friends and they're like, so you want to give Alyssa a lot of space. That's what you want to do. And then she talks to his friends and he says his asshole friends say to her, he may come across as condescending.
Yeah, they did him no favors. They did him no favors.
Zero. And they don't say anything positive about Chris's character, right? They essentially said, you're just going to have to put up with it. Right. So she uses this as an excuse to say, I'm not going to go to the room with him. I want a separate room. I don't feel comfortable with things that were said. Yeah. I don't want to be around you. And this is after knowing him for how many hours?
Maybe 4 or 5. What I didn't like about it, Erin, is that how she made it seem like he was going to hurt her.
Yeah.
Like she made it super uncomfortable. She said, I can't stay in a room with him. I need my own separate room. And she pretty much pulled the flag. She pulled the flag like this guy could kill me if I spend one night with him. And he's the nicest guy.
Because of his teeth?
He's the nicest guy.
Yeah. Well, see, not just because of his teeth. Well, she is not attracted to him because of his teeth. Mm-hmm. And she feels as though that she was actually, and Sean, you said that you don't watch After Party.
I watched a couple episodes.
So I'm going to give you a little bit more clarity from this last After Party. Mm-hmm. She felt like she was due Steve because she went to a psychic and the psychic said that she was going to get a tall man, good teeth, and a lion tattoo.
First of all, wait.
and yes. So when she saw Chris and she was like, well, he ain't none of these things.
Yeah. And he's a bit of a doughboy too. He's a bit of a doughboy. She's kind of fit. He's a doughboy. And first of all, where she effed up was she told the experts, her and another person on the show told the experts they didn't care what their husband looked like.
You went to a psychic to find out how your soon to be married at first sight husband was going to be on a show with a doctor named Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Please carry on.
Yeah.
And then the guy that the psychic describes is matched with another woman.
Wait, did the psychic work for the show?
I see. I don't know. So
because Dr. Pepper seems real diabolical.
Listen, and Pastor Kyle and Dr. Vivian.
They're all in one. Yeah, they're all in it. Like
hoots, huh?
So the other thing about this is that they went swimming last week. And he wanted her to go scuba diving. She still went on the honeymoon, Sean, even though she can't stand this guy. She still went on the honeymoon, and she still demanded her own room on the honeymoon. If you're not going through with the process, why are you on the honeymoon? Why is the network spending money to send you to Puerto Rico, and you're not even trying? So he asked her to go swimming. She said no. So he was like, well, will you just watch me swim from watch me scuba? Like, maybe you'll want to come in. He went underwater.
She was scared of sharks.
He went underwater. She left. She left. She went to the eatery and called her mother. Her mother called her out on her BS, and she got mad at her mother and started crying on camera. The poor guy gets out of the water looking for his wife. He finds her in the eatery. She tells the producers, can you tell him not to come over here? So the producer has to go and tell this poor guy, yeah, your wife don't want you around her right now.
Whoa.
Unbelievable episode of this show.
Now, so you all said they shooting in Boston. Are all the people from Boston?
Yes.
So they all been in
if they're not from Boston, they are living there now.
Right.
Okay. So these people been living in the same city with each other and ain't never ran into each other.
Well, Boston is huge.
I could dig that.
Yeah.
I could 100, I'm from Chicago, so I could dig the whole big city. It seemed like the experiment seems really interesting to me, I guess, because the fact that they matching people with people that they just would not connect to. Does it work out? I remember seeing the very first season of this show, but does it work out?
Sometimes. but it's just like anything that you would think of. You have a 50-50 chance.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah.
Right.
So last season in Texas, none of the couples worked out.
Right.
The season before that in Atlanta, one couple worked out.
Right.
But the ratings probably was through the roof.
Oh, the ratings were through the roof in Atlanta because of Chris and Paige.
Chris and Paige. Chris and Paige. So Chris was a guy from Chicago who would he moved to Atlanta. They matched him with the girl, and she was okay. She was pretty. She had a good look. He got there. He married her. She looked real good in the dress or whatever to him. They had sex the first night. And then the next morning, when they woke up, he pretty much told her she was ugly and he wasn't attractive.
Yes, he did. They used the U word and let that hang over this Black woman.
Yeah.
And I could not live.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. And after his father was screaming, honeymoon baby.
Yeah.
At the reception, they all talked about her butt. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Even though, to be honest and fair, he did tell her friends at the reception that I'm used to a pretty girl.
He did say that. And they didn't relay that message to her.
No. And no, her friend said, well, Paige is pretty. And he looked at them like, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And there was some colorism involved, but I was pretty much done at that season.
It was an ugly season.
Said this guy, Pastor, what's his name? Pastor Cal?
Pastor Cal.
He ain't say nothing about this colorism. He ain't add they in Atlanta. That's like,
he tried.
So Pastor Cal showed more emotion. When I said he's a patient person, you could tell he was physically annoyed with Chris.
Okay.
He wasn't going. Chris had his pastor marry them, and at the reunion show, they almost came to blows. Like,
wow,
he almost came to blows with his own pastor because his wife wanted to talk to the pastor because it wasn't just his pastor; it was his mentor. So he was like, they met, and he wanted to talk to her about. She wanted to talk to him about trying to understand Chris, and he got mad because you met with my wife without me knowing this, that, and the other. But she was just trying to better the marriage.
I could dig it. To be fair, I'm from Chicago, and that's kind of I could say for me, that was my mentality when I first met my wife. I'll tell y'all me and my wife's story at the conclusion of this. But
yeah, so Chris is an all-time villain on Married at First Sight. He's
wait, but what are we forgetting about Chris?
Oh, he had a fiance who was pregnant.
There we go.
Oh no.
Yeah. And he bought her, he made a lot, he claimed to make a lot of money. And he bought his fiance who was pregnant a Mercedes Benz. So because he claimed his baby wasn't going to be just riding around in nothing.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And they the diabolical producers wanted Paige to sit down with this prospective baby mama and hash out whatever.
Yeah, it was a mess. It was a mess, Sean. It was a mess. But yeah, but yeah,
I just want to know what kind of diabolicality are these people? The Dr. Pepper is she signing people up for? This is unbelievable.
You don't even really see Dr. Pepper that much anymore for some reason.
Of course not. Of course not.
She's tired.
Yeah.
You've seen The Wizard of Oz before, right?
I would say out of the three, Dr. Pepper is probably the one that's least involved. And Pastor Cal is he's usually the narrator of the show to tell us what the couples need to be doing in certain parts of the relationship. And yeah, that's just kind of like his role. And then they meet periodically throughout the show to discuss where they are in their marriage. And they talk about what they could be doing better now, what they should be doing better. And sometimes it works. Sometimes they try it. And sometimes the guy or the girl is just not attracted to who they hook up with, but they don't tell them that. They just kind of treat them like crap. And then at the end, when they have to make the decision, they decide not to stay married. But most of the time, the people still want to be married to these people, even though they treat them like crap for 8 weeks.
I mean, and that's wild, man. So I'll tell y'all this, right? The reason why I said the whole Married at First Sight thing is it just reminds me of like meeting somebody and then being with them, right? To be completely honest, excuse me, me and my wife had seen each other a couple of times. When one day, she knew what I wanted in a wife. She told me she wanted to be that for me, right? And we've been together ever since. And that was almost 25 years ago, right? And on the 14th of February, we will celebrate our 22nd wedding anniversary, right?
Congratulations.
Yes, congrats.
We got married at the World Trade Center, man, in 2000 on Valentine's Day, on the 14th of February. I don't like to call it Valentine's Day because of that, we can't never go to no restaurant for our anniversary. So thank y'all.
Yeah, so Married at First Sight comes on Wednesday nights at 8 a.m., 8 to 10 on Lifetime. You can also catch the after party, which is hosted by Keisha Knight Pulliam. After they get that Leave It to Jeej crap off the air.
Rudy.
Rudy host the after party show.
Rudy.
Yeah, and they got this show called Leave It to Jeej that they rather put on. Instead of putting the after party show on, you gotta wait till 11 o'clock to see the after party show. I don't know who they think waiting at my age for the after party show to see. I want to see it right now. I want to see it right. I don't want to wait an hour after seeing Jeej deal with her shit. Like
the after party happened after an hour after, Sean.
Yeah, it's like you gotta take a drive to get there. Like, but you gotta look at Jeej for an hour. Like, but whatever.
Thank you, Erin, for coming through.
You're welcome.
Erin, real quick, where can people find you? Because you have a plethora, see that word usage, a plethora of
words.
Podcasting, a podcast. People don't know you one of the biggest wrestling fans I know. You got wrestling podcast. You got podcasts that talk about Married at First Sight. Give the people some insight on what you do and where they can find you.
Okay, well, thank you. And thank you for having me. It was lovely meeting you Keyshawn. Sean, I've known for many, many years because he is like family, if not family.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, we are family.
So we are. I didn't know if he wanted to claim me, but all right.
Oh, no. We're family.
I don't know about that at the family reunion.
So you can find me at Watch With You Podcast or Watch With You Pod on Twitter and Facebook, as well as Instagram. So my friend Lady D and I, we talk about Black women in media and worlds, real and imagined throughout time and space.
Wow.
So this first season, we did Black women in period pieces, or we focused on Black women in period pieces. Pretty soon, we will be launching season 2, and that's going to be titled Out of This World. So we'll be talking about Black women and Black speculative fiction. But yes, we do talk about and love shows like Batwoman, Our Kind of People. I do have wrestling specials. So we just had a Royal Rumble's prediction. Pretty soon, we're going to talk about the road to WrestleMania. And what else? I mean, yes, we did this today. We had a maths prediction episode drop because we do talk about all 5 couples and will they say yes on decision day or not? Because spoiler alert, I don't think any of these couples are going to last.
They done. Done. Like I said, they on the honeymoon right now, but the honeymoon was already over. They there, but it's dead. It's dead and stinking, all of them.
But I do think some people will say yes on decision day. So we talk a little bit about that. And pretty soon we're going to have a audio kickback on a book, 7 Days in June drop, and as well as our reactions to the Janet Jackson documentary. So if you are interested in Black women in media, please check us out. And that is Watch With You Pod.
Awesome. Erin, please come back on. Like we really want you to come back and kick it with us.
Indeed. I just followed you on Twitter, man.
Yeah, every time we get together for a family function, like you and I find a corner and everything else is just happening around us. So and I'm with it because we on the same wavelength, and I really appreciate you and I love you and thank you for coming on our show today.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right.
Thank you so much, Erin. Be cool.
You're welcome. You too.
All right. We'll be back with more after this message. Hey, everybody. This is Sean Galloway, one half of Sean and Sean Talk Shit, and I'm here to talk to you about podcast production. The market is completely flooded with podcasts, and rightfully so, because everyone deserves the right to be heard on any platform that's available. That's what makes us American. But let me tell you this. Unlike our video counterparts, badly colored or shaky video is acceptable depending on the content. But bad audio, on the other hand, is completely unforgivable. Nobody will listen. You'll tune them out. In fact, an audio guru friend of mine used to say that video without good audio is just surveillance footage. Facts. This is where the professionals at Vetrepreneur Visions come in. This award-winning company excels at the audio production needed to get your podcast quality to the next level. Look, a lot of you out there already found the 57 Chevy body in the old barn, right? You got the content. Let Vetrepreneur Visions come in and look under the hood, fix things, and shine that baby up for your next show. Online, you can find the website at vetrepreneurvisions.com. For Instagram, it's simply Vetrepreneur_Visions. And you can find us on Twitter by searching @Vetrepreneur_.
Break free, we keep screaming out their names. Vengeance, the recompenses, send them to the caves. We've been submissive to obligatory change. His story never changed, the history shall remain. We blame the bishops on the pew, tutors in the school.
Welcome back to Sean and Sean Talk About Shit. We are here. And we just want to close things out. We had a full show today. We talked about a lot of things.
It was a dope show.
We did. Like the conversation with Jamil was amazing, man. Like I feel like every conversation we have could go so much deeper, but we are having a lot of time. We don't really have a lot of time, but we don't want to hold up a lot of people. You know, we want people to be able to listen to our stuff and not, you know, in one setting. You know what I'm saying? if that makes any sense, because we could get deep and talk for hours, man. Indeed. Like we could be our own little PBS documentary or whatever. But yeah, we just want to thank. Yeah, we just want to thank you all for listening.
We will have an arts episode next week, though. I mean, next month, though, right?
Yeah, we're gonna have an art episode. We're gonna have an art episode. We're gonna try to do it monthly for sure. As long as we can find artists that want to talk and promote their stuff, we're gonna have that episode on. The next episode we want to try to get though, and we're pretty close to locking in the guests for it. We are gonna do a special on home buying. A special on home buying, and my hope is to have Latondra Kenley on, who is a United States Army veteran, retired Army veteran with over 20 years of service to the country, who is now a real estate agent and has her own little setup, going. And I also want to get one of my good friends, Aaron Thompson, on, who actually flips houses. Because a lot of people think they can flip houses. A lot of people want to get into that, but they don't realize how much work it is and how much you got to have connected for that to work. So I want to get Aaron on to talk people and either get people to say, I need to sit my ass down, or yeah, I'm ready to push ahead with this, So that's what I want to do. It'll be good to have. So you got anything you want to say before we get out of here, bro?
Hey man, I love y'all, and there's nothing y'all can do about it. We'll catch y'all on the next epi.
Absolutely. Talk to y'all later. Peace.
The slave run up since we wasn't changed. Break free, we keep screaming out their names. Vengeance, the recompense, send them to the caves. We've been submissive to obligatory change. His story never changed. The history shall remain. We blame the bishops on the